Okay, this is the quick 2-minute or less tour of our garden on the 29th of June 2013. We got some apple trees growing here. We've got a little kid pool, that's where we grow kids. The apple trees are doing fine. They give us a lot of apples, these 3 apple trees. And then we've got some rhubarb going that Christy loves. She makes a rhubarb and strawberry jam, so we've got strawberries along with the rhubarb. It's a different kind of combination. It's getting a little crowded. We've got more strawberries here that I planted earlier in the spring, some radishes, some lettuce, some garlic. Here we've got some herbs, some Greek oregano, some rosemary, some German thyme, and some cilantro. All of these that Christy likes. And we've got a few more herbs here, some yerba buena. I'm not sure what that is. That's something Christy wanted to try and experiment with. Some basil, some chives. We had to plant some chives down here because our chickens ate up everything in our backyard. Our backyard looks like the surface of the moon. We've got some asparagus that seem to kind of struggle a little bit. Here's some sunchokes, sometimes called Jerusalem artichokes. It's a tuber. They're really delicious to eat, and they spread. They can be pretty invasive. That's why I've got them in these grow boxes. This next row, you can see down at the far end, we've got a few potatoes growing, some lettuce, some more different variety of lettuce, and of course we got some cabbage. And this is our kale. The kale is very nutritious. And then some peppers, cucumbers, some Swiss chard, and more lettuce down there at the far end of that row. And we got some carrots growing here. We like the carrots. And some onions. These are our tomatoes. Most of these I grew from seed that I gathered last year from our tomatoes. They're all either German pinks are called, or the super beefsteak, or some cherry tomatoes, or some small Romas. But these are our tomatoes. We need to get down here and work a little bit on getting them to go up these poles a little more. Then I've planted some potatoes here this year, trying to hill them up some. So here's the rows of red potatoes that we've got going. You can see there in the distance I've built a little arch. I call it a grow arch, with some cattle panels. Just bent them over and staked them down, and let the plants that are in there, hopefully they'll grow up and vine up over that arch, so up instead of out is the idea. And we've got a few more fruit trees. This is called a Mormon apricot, sometimes called Chinese apricot. Here we've got a plum tree and another plum tree. We pretty much picked the blossoms this year, so we let instead of letting the plant or the tree put the energy into the fruit, we let it put it into the roots and so forth. And hopefully the tree will get a little healthier over the long term. And then we've got an almond tree right there. Yes, there's the potatoes. You can see the rows of potatoes, and looking back at the garden. And I use soaker hoses, which is not the best sort of way to just weave them throughout the garden. I've built the plumbing so that I can just take the soaker hoses and put them directly on the plants. You see some soaker hose laying down here. These are a couple of watermelon plants that my granddaughters Mia and Arabella planted. And then we've got some squash here, different varieties of squash. We've got some acorn squash, some zucchini, some Dutch crookneck, and some silver bell, and spaghetti squash. And you can see that I'm trying to get those to vine up into this grow arch. And that way I just make better use of the space here. Some Japanese cucumbers, some more squash. I've got beans all along each of the wires of this grow arch. I'm not sure how well they're going to do, if they're going to be too crowded or not. Some more melons down along here, and more melons here, and there's the spaghetti squash. But this is the grow arch with just the cattle panels that I bought at Cal Ranch, about $19 or $17, I can't remember, $20 a panel. Got 3 of them. See, I just staked them and bent them to this arch shape. And there again, you're looking down past the garden. You can see the plumbing that I've built in and used to get water to the plants. Well, that's our garden at the moment. This 29th of June 2015 here in Provo, Utah. I forgot to show you my raspberries. I've got a couple of raspberry plants growing along this fence line. Had a little bit of a struggle with them last year, so we're seeing if we can't get these 2 raspberry plants to grow for us. And here's a compost bin that I've built. That's pretty much the garden.